Right, guys, let's have a chat about the use of distance sticks, because I do see a massive common error that people do. I've seen people, fishing at 18 wraps, 20 wraps, in 18 foot of water. They've wrapped all their rods and spom up to the same distance. Well, that don't work. It's not right. At the end of the day, if you're fishing 18 foot of water, let's say, 20 wraps, by the time your lead swung back, you're going to be fishing at 19 and a half. Yeah. So you wrap your spom at 19 and a half. That way, your bait's going to go down over the top of your rigs. And obviously, now that's going to vary, depending on what depth you're fishing. If you're fishing at 3 or 4 foot depth, you'll get away with it. It won't matter. You'd get away with it. You'd still be on the edge of your bait. But it doesn't take 5 minutes, especially if you're going in a swim where, there's no fish, showing, just go in there, put your marker float out, or find your spots first, then put your marker float out, let your marker float up, yeah, and then, because obviously you've cast that, say, at 20 wraps, by the time you swing back, it's going to be just over 19 and a half, roughly, in 18 foot of water. So, if your marker float's out there, you don't need to keep it out there. Just wrap your spod rod up to 19 and a half or just over in that sort of depth of water. You've always got to adjust it depending on what depth of water you're in. Say you're in 8 foot of water. Take off a foot off your spod rod. Start there. For argument's sake, you got your rods wrapped up at 20. They've swung back to 19 and a half. So, in 8 foot of water, say, take off a foot, 18 inches, Let's see where you are. Whack it against the marker float. If you're whacking that spod against that marker float, you will know 100% that you are fishing. Your bait is landing on the right line. Yeah, distance sticks are very handy, so you know what distance you're going. But don't be fooled into thinking that in 18 foot of water, when you've got all your rods, including your spod rod, wrapped to the same distance, that your bait's going to be fishing on the same line, because the fact is it ain't. You need it to be at least almost half a rod length back. 5 foot you need to take off, to make sure you're right. Your bait is landing right over your rigs for your spod rod. Because you don't have to allow for any swing back, do you, on the spod rod? Your spod's hitting the surface and it's dropping the bait there. So, it's a common mistake I see people do, is no matter what depth they're fishing in, they've wrapped all their rods to the same distance. No. Don't fall into that trap, because that ain't right. Hope this helps, guys. Like I say, if you like my videos, give us a thumbs up. Think about subscribing, because I'll be doing a lot more. I'll be doing some on the bank, for sure.